everyone. Welcome to episode number 17 of Artful Mind. Today I have with me Dr. VC Padmanaban. Sir is an assistant professor in the Department of Bioengineering, NIT Agartala. I welcome you, sir. How are you?
Yeah, fine. Thank you for your invitation, first of all. And thank you, Darshan. After so much of hurdle, we have connected.
Right,
And good.
sir.
And, it is good to see your work to connect with people and to popularize the science in a much positive way for the next generation of researchers. Good job.
Thank you
Yeah, fine.
so much. I'm
Yeah.
trying.
How is your postdoc experience there now? Good.
Yes, sir. It is going well. Yeah, I will be completing 2 years after 2-3 months. Yeah,
Okay.
it is going good. Okay, sir.
Okay. Hmm.
So we will be talking and understanding about the research in NITs or IITs.
Okay.
For masters also like MSR, that
Yeah.
program as well as PhD. So
PhD. Yeah.
right, and also MSR, not the MTech, because MTech when student get admitted, eventually they will end up into some lab doing work. But for MSR, that Masters in Research,
Hmm.
that program also, because
Yeah.
student need to prepare, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we will be talking about that. So
Yeah.
my first question will be, now it is very common for a student to go for PhD after bachelor, right? So
Yeah. Direct
do you
PhD.
think skipping a master's will be difficult later? Will it be challenging? Because many of them are now doing dual MTech and PhD as well after
Mm.
getting into PhD.
Yeah.
So, what is your opinion on that uh, area?
So yeah, it is a good tricky question too. So to start with the answer, uh, when we started to focus on a PhD kind of a research work, rather than looking that PhD as a from a degree point of view, if you start to think about from an exploratory point of view, then these issues will not overcome. So, a candidate who is eligible after BTech by clearing GATE or can able to get admitted in a direct PhD course, if he feels that he is sound enough to initiate the PhD work or to the doctoral research, then what are all the things he has to learn from during his courseworks. So, if he is confident enough to go in that direction, then it is absolutely fine, because the rule says like this: when an institution or a government system by thinking so many different factors, they have relaxed the eligibility of doing a MTech. So directly you can go to a direct PhD, considering the age factors, considering the facilities, and considering the
Right.
opportunities, lifespan of the human being, everything, considering so many factors, they have come up with these points. So
Mm,
my one consideration will be like, because PhD is not about only doing a scientific research. Moreover, it is a doctorate of philosophy, so we
right.
have to learn so many other aspects when we are doing a research work. So how to manage the time, how to make the resources very limited, and how we can able to cope up with the works, how to manage in between the scholars to the interpersonal relationship. So many other factors is also there which we have to concentrate during our PhD journey. So by considering all these factors, my opinion will be, if a candidate is eligible to do a direct PhD after BTech, he can go for it. But one thing we have to keep it in mind is the journey will be little, it will not be that much easy as an MTech after doing BTech, then MTech, then PhD. So it will be a little, not like a stressful one. It will be a little tough
Mm,
one, not an easy task. But it is not like we cannot able to do it. There are some candidates, some of the students, those who are doing wonderful things after direct BTech. So it also about depends on the orientation, how you have
mm,
approached the world of science in your 12th standard or during your BTech days. If you are having a good orientation, then you can go to a direct PhD. And in most of the technical institutions also, even a candidate is applying for a direct PhD, during an interview process, if we feel that he or she needs to enrich the basics a little bit more, we will directly tell to them, better you can do an MTech and then you can approach for a direct PhD. So that options also we are giving. Yeah.
right. And um, do you think before going into interview, it is advisable to contact the faculty, like the student whom they wanted to go into their lab, or they should rock in the interview. What is your opinion? Like,
Yes,
as
it is like a win-win situation because the faculty will also be looking for a student, and not necessary to be a good working or a good intellectual, very extraordinary students. The faculty will also be looking for a student because it is the research work is will be like a joint action between a researcher and a research student, PhD supervisor, then the funding agency. So many factors are involved in it. So a faculty will also be looking for a student who is interested in his work. So it is also always good to see to the profile of the faculty members, what is the kind of the work they are doing. I may be
mm,
interested, the student may be interested in biodiesel,
mhm,
but there are so many different opportunities to prepare a biodiesel. Through a microbial system, you can go, you through the plant system, you can go. So I may be interested, student may be interested in plant derived biodiesel, but the faculty may be working on with the microalgal based technologies. So we have to find a common point where we can able to learn from the supervisor, as well as we can able to contribute to the work. The supervisor can also able to learn new advancements in the areas through the student interest. So it is always
right.
better to contact the faculty, but there
Mhm,
should be a limit for that. It
mhm,
is not like a recommendation point of view. It is like to know the yeah, subject area much better. Then you need to prove yourself in the interview so that it will be much easier for both the people. So my opinion will be to yes, to
mhm.
contact faculty members will be a good option. Yes.
That is, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And how to convince the faculty? Suppose you do not have any experience in that area. So how
Yeah.
to tell the faculty that he
That
or
is,
she
yeah,
is a good fit?
the same question I have been asked for from many different students. Like, okay, as from a faculty point of view, we will not look for the so much of big credentials. We cannot able to expect a patent or a research 5 research papers from a BTech student, those who are applying for a direct PhD, or a
Right.
MTech student, like 2 papers is required. It is not
Mhm,
necessary in that point of view, but the interest what you are showing when during the interview process, and what kind of efforts you have taken during your BTech days, we will evaluate based on that. There are some kind of a students, those who are interested, they may be thinking in a material point of view, like if I am having a certificates from many central government institution, my profile will be shortlisted for the interview. It is not like that. I have seen some students, those who are preparing, those who are attending workshops in diverse areas across their 4 years. There will not be any single orientation towards that. They will be having
mhm,
workshop certificates on computational biology, they will be working on biodiesel production, they will be working on environmental science. So many different factors they will be there. uh, 10 to 15 number of NPTEL certificates, 30 to 60
mhm.
around Coursera certificates. There is no point in doing all these things.
Oh,
There should be a connection between the objective, right? I want to
mhm.
specialize myself, I want to position myself after 10 years of time in the field of environmental engineering, where water treatment I'm going to take it up. Then my journey towards that particular point I need to take care during this 4 years of time, right? So during my first year, I will build up the basis of the environmental sciences. Second year, I will be going with some exploratory point like NPTEL courses on environmental science and allied areas. Third year, based on that knowledge, I will start up some small projects and I will try to extend that project. Then I will go to a, so that if there is a connection between the points, then it will be easy for the faculty members, and faculty members will assess these points only. It is not like we will not be so material to think like this student is having 16 papers, so I will take him for the project. No, it is not like that. So there should be a connection between the programs what we are undertaking or undergoing, the courses what we are taking. There should be a logical connection. So if you think about the research work in the perspective of a science and the knowledge and the wisdom, then these connection points will not be an issue. Obviously, when such a student is sitting for an interview, it will be a very easy for the student to clear the interview process.
Right.
Yeah.
But for a BTech student to prepare for research profile from first, second, even third year is not that easy, right?
Yeah,
when I was a
that is what.
student, yeah,
Because
like,
they will be having their own coursework time also. So apart
mhm,
from the in most of the curriculum, the final year will be the time for the BTech students to work for the project. So we cannot able to
right.
assess through the final year.
Mhm,
But those interested students, those who want to have a passion to position themselves in a top IITs or top NITs, then they can start the work, late evening work, late night work, along with the find a suitable research scholar in the institutions, and they can align with them, and they can able to work late nights or late evening depending on their interest. If it is
right.
possible, they can build up their profile, they can learn apart from their curriculum. So that is what that it should be that is what I'm saying.
Mhm,
It is like an interest driven process. It is not like a peer pressure. Oh, he is doing, so I will also be doing. So that pressure
mhm,
comes, then it will not be a quality. So if it is on their own interest, I want to explore more on this particular area, then it will be a smooth sailing for the student to reach to an IITs or NITs or any top technical institutions. Yeah.
right. Yes, that is a good advice. And um, when you select student, do you
Mhm.
think that generally if someone contacts a faculty, then faculty may say that prepare some research topic, right? Then what the
Mhm.
faculty expect the student to do?
Okay.
Because they cannot come up with something very novel. So as an interviewer, what will you look for in an SOP?
Uh, yes, if we are okay, if I am in a situation to if a student contacted me, I will tell these are all the areas where you can able to strengthen yourself. That we will try to assess. Okay, the broader
Mhm.
areas of research. Yeah, I am working on environmental engineering, where the wastewater treatment I am working on. So I will be trying to ask the basics about the environmental engineering. What is his vision of the environment? So that broader perspective I used to assess the student, whether he is having a broader interest towards environment or his thought process is materialized towards, okay, environmental engineering is a very interesting field where we can get more amount of papers and patents. So I will be working on that. If you ask me in my point of view, I will be going with what is your student's perspective towards environment. That
Mhm.
quality we will try to assess, and what is the current issues which is undergoing in the environmental systems regarding it can be towards biotic factors, or it can be towards an abiotic factors, or it can be towards an global level issues like global warming or antimicrobial resistant issues. So whether any advanced areas they can able to get. So the faculty will try to look, we will try to give more weightage for the basics. Around 50% of the weightage we will give for the basics. 25% we will try to assess whether that basics let the student to prepare a short-term course or a workshop or other thing, and what kind of an advancements he is aware in the current existing scenario. So we can put it like 50% the basics, 25% how he is maintaining that interest, 25% whether the current global scenario he is aware or not. So this is how I will be assessing a student, so that the quality of the work will also be in a much elevated way.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, and what do you think a student does in an interview? Like, what kind of mistake they do usually when you interview for PhD program that
Yeah.
make them not in the selection list?
What can you repeat the question
I mean,
once?
what are some of the mistakes that student does in an interview, PhD interview?
Okay, common mistakes. What? Okay, from my
Right.
experience. Okay. Yes, the common mistakes what the students will be doing, or I will put it in a different way. How you can able to convince the faculty members in a much better way by avoiding the mistakes. Okay,
Right.
like the common mistakes, what they will be doing is they will be explaining more about their postgraduate work and the undergraduate work if they are coming for direct PhD. Okay, about that work they will be explaining more and more and more detail, and most of the students fail to tell what they expect from a PhD duration of that research work. So that many students will not explain. Many will be telling,
Mhm.
I have done this, I have done this much of work. That is fine, but you have come for an interview for the next level of a stage, right? So what do you expect from a PhD work? And if a student is contacting a faculty member, it is expected that at least the basic, the broader areas of the faculty, you should be aware of it. And what is the reason kind of approach they are doing towards that particular topic of research. In that area, if you can able to read through it and you can able to bring back the entire discussion towards that orientation, that will definitely convince a faculty member. It is not about convincing a faculty member, it will add value to the project. All right, so the faculty member will be running a particular project of a time, and it can be a continuation of an existing project, or he can start a new project, right? So if he wants to continue a project, you should know what that particular faculty member is currently doing, then what can be the advancements we can able to contribute as a scholar to the group. If that orientation is emphasized more during an interview process, then it will be a good way to assess. Then the quality of interview as well as the quality of assessment will also go good. Yeah. And one another suggestion what I can able to give is, for example, if you are trying for a yeah, example I can tell, if you are trying to work on antimicrobial resistance against a certain class of antibiotics, the scholar will be explaining so many advanced areas like AMR, what are all the databases available, how we can able to combat that, but they are not aware about the basic classes of antibiotics. So there will be a contradiction in that, right? Without understanding the basics about antibiotics and what is the mode of action of that antibiotics, how an organism develops resistance, there is no point in doing a big research work. There will not be any logical connection between the points. So that is very important thing. So that is why I said the 50% basics, if you are convincing if you are doing well in the interview, that will definitely convince the faculty member to 50%. Then it is only a matter of 25% to convince using the approach and the advancements. Then it will be a much easier one. And other kind of a mistakes, what they will be doing, they will be asking is, sir, within how much duration I can able to complete the PhD? So yes, we also do understand that it is a time-bound course. It may be depending on the universities, it may be a 5 years or 6 years or 8 years. We also do understand that, and faculty member will also have a intention to get the fresh mind into the group. Right, we also need some fresh minds to think about it. Recent advancements, the fresh students will be giving more contribution to the work, so the faculties will also not have an intention to stay you people for more than 6 years or 8 years of time. But when the right moment, if they ask no, that shows a different attitude of the student. So it will be like, okay, they are looking for only 3 years bound so that they can able to do it. So that things you should avoid in the interview process. Then it will be good one to, it will be a healthy discussion, so that faculties will also get some more ideas when we are interacting with the young generation of the students. So that is a good way to approach. Yeah.
Right. And apart from research and grades, what are other skills that you would be looking for? Like soft skill and any other criteria?
Okay, for a PhD scholar, no, it depends on, my answer may not be fit for all the faculty members, but I am saying from my point of view, I'll be looking only for one aspect which I can able to relate with many other faculty members also. Almost 90% they will be looking for this particular quality. The accountability we will look for from the student, how much you are accountable to the task what you people are doing. If during the first year of your course, it is designed for the coursework, you have to build up your basics towards the research assigned for you, or the research what you wanted to explore. All right, so that duration the institute or universities may demand for a 12 credit or 13 credit. You should not stop with that. There is no limit for learning the building up your basement for your research work. So not necessary to restrict yourself to 12 credit. It depends on you. You need to understand what you don't know about the research first. If you categorize that and if you list down all the things, then it is very easy for you to enrich within this 4-year period or 5-year period of your PhD. One student may not be good in communication or writing. He may be good in speaking English, but he may not be good in writing. But writing is very important for research work, when we need to communicate with the other people through the research papers or review papers. And in that way, we have to first, the scholar need to identify, okay, I am weak in this particular writing skill, so I need to develop. So that during the coursework time, you can able to enrich that knowledge. If you are good, if you are weak in a communicative English, like through oral communication, if you are not good enough, then you can able to build up by joining some courses, or you can go for some small conferences which will build up your confidence. Then you can go aim for the higher conferences organized by technical institutions, institution of reputes, or recognized societies. That will boost up your confidence to a much level. So it, when you want, apart from these basic levels, we will look for the only thing, how much you are committed, how much you are accountable you are to your work. That is very important one. So it's not about the hard work, how much time you are spending in the lab. You may be spending in 20 hours in lab, but if you are not accountable to that time, there is no point in spending 20 hours in lab. So even if you spend 6 hours in lab, make it so productive, and have a healthy environment in a research lab, that will give you more mental peace. That is what we will look for it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely true.
Yeah.
And sir, for a new PhD student,
Mhm.
what advice would you give, like how they approach their work? Because when we come from this only studying and giving exam to a completely different environment,
Yeah.
most of the time we get clueless, right? Once we join. So,
Yes.
what
Yes.
advice would you give someone starting
Yeah.
their
Right.
research journey?
Okay, I will put it in a little bit more precise way. It is not about starting during the research journey. A graduate who have joined for a BTech program in biotechnology or biological engineering or life sciences, he should have this orientation towards it. There, biotechnology is a very big, vast field. It is an umbrella, contains so many different subjects. So, need not to be you have to master in everything, but you have to identify one field which creates a kind of a curiosity, or which fascinates you, which you may not able to understand at the right from your first year or the second year of your BTech program. So what you can, this is what I am following for the past 12 to 13 years of time to my students at a second year level or a first year level. This kind of a mentoring we will do, I am doing, and it helps also. I will ask the student to go to the library without any friends. You can just go to the library daily. You can fix one week for one subject, broader area of the subject, like biochemistry you can put, microbiology you can put, environmental you can put. Like that, you can find some major 6 to 7 umbrellas you can able to find. You read a good quality books during that period of 1 week. You just 1 week you concentrate on biochemistry. You just read the book, okay? And you in when you are reading certain subjects, you will not feel bored, and you will start to spend more time in the library. Certain class of books, if you started to read, you will feel bored and you will try to quit the things from the library. Okay, that is a one important approach by which you can able to understand which subject is creating a fascination inside you. Okay, if you able to find out that, yes, that is how I also trained. I also identified my subject area as environmental engineering right from my second year through my teachers, like this. So when I started to reading about the books about the food biotechnology, I am not much fascinated, but few of my friends are getting much more interested, and they started to pick up their career in food technology. So after that, my orientation, like, I want to specialize myself in environmental engineering. So I wanted to build up my basics on environmental engineering by doing courses, or NPTEL courses, or Coursera courses, or the online workshops, or it can be a hands-on training, or the characterization workshops. So I will try to build up that. Once I build up my profile or my resume with a good quality workshops and good basics of the sciences, then it is easy for the graduate to approach a faculty member. Okay, so that will be the trump card for you. Yes, I am having a capacity to work on with these and these aspects. So it is, if you provide a good opportunity for me, it will be like a both the sides, it will be benefited for us. So then the faculties will definitely will be targeting. So if you start your level of understanding from your BTech days, then it will be a streamlined one. There will not be any, you will not feel any kind of a pressure during your final year of your BTech or final year of your MTech. So it will be like a smooth say, because you know where you want to be after, by the end of your BTech or MTech, because you know about your status very clearly. Yes, I am good in environmental engineering, so I can able to target such and such institutes. Right, so that clarity you will get right from the beginning. If you are planning your things, don't get pressurized on it. But so much of time nowadays we people are getting as a free time in most of the technical institutions. So the provision why the IITs or NITs are giving this much freedom is only to enrich your knowledge in your own passionate areas. Of late, now many students are missing the track. They are not following that properly. So the one of the biggest advantages, you can decide about your own career, which way you want to specialize. That opportunity you can able to get from the higher technical institutions. That is one prime focus each and every student should have right from their first year, second year, or third year onwards, so that the later part of the stages will be very clear for us. So that will be a kind of an advice I can able to give to these students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are some amazing advice that you have shared. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yes.
I think we will be concluding
Yeah.
here. I
Sure. Mm.
hope students will be benefited from the great tips that you shared, and having a mentor like you is another great advantage. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, sir, for
Thank you.
coming here and sharing your
Sure.
experience. Thank you, sir.
All the best to the students, and you also do good work. Okay.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, sir.
Bye.